in my experience, I think so it's more about incremental approach to the change. I think so the acceptance that the change is imminent is there. But what we continue to watch is generally the approach is incremental and more focused on cost reduction than a holistic approach. And I don't really blame them for that, because I personally went through this conundrum about 2 years back when we were kicking off an initiative. We called it Transforming the Enterprise for Digital. And it was interesting because organizations had been on the digital path for like 20 years, and it would have sounded funny if 2 years back I was saying transforming the enterprise for digital. But the difference was, this is not about adoption of digital tools. This is not about investing into new technology and other things, but this was about the impact of digital on the enterprise. So how, with the adoption of digital in the general business environment, the whole enterprise ways of working is going to go through a change. What kind of new talent pool we need, what kind of the new analytics and different ways of working and processes and all of that is needed, focusing on that. And that's the reason we were not talking about as digital change management, we were talking about as transforming the enterprise for digital. So if that realization starts sinking in faster, I think so the change will come much faster. But other than that, the only thing I see is incremental approach versus holistic approach. Yeah, so we started working on this about 5 years back as part of our Outperforming CFO framework effort. Primarily, the idea was to move away from transformation limited to the silo or sliver of processes we work on, but look at more holistic approach in working with the CFOs on enhancing, protecting the shareholders' value. The 3 key initiatives that we focus on underneath that is the first one being keeping our offerings fresh, and there are multiple aspects of that. So some of them being, how do we keep the offerings go end-to-end integrated? So just instead of collections and cash applications and some of those aspects, going into order management, order fulfillment, and the entire cycle of order to cash. Or we acquired a company called Denali, which is in strategic sourcing, and the idea was we had a strong invoice to pay practice, but how do we complete it to make it source to pay? So completing the offering in its end-to-end enterprise level process. Focusing on outcome-based pricing. We're already the leaders on that space, but ensuring that we continue to enhance on that. Then also looking at Track, which is our digital ecosystem. And the idea under Track is, not to have 3 partnerships or 4 tools, but basically build an ecosystem that handles the end-to-end integrated automated technology for a platform. So those are some of the examples in keeping it fresh. The second piece is around helping the organizations with the holistic change management, so target operating model. So how do we help them build target operating model and not just the BPO landscape or outsourcing landscape, goes beyond holistic plan. And then finally is, as I talked a little bit about it earlier, the whole transforming the enterprise for digital. So how do we change and bring in new offerings that are more related to what's going to be the future? So essentially business process as a service model. So one of the things we're working on is financial intelligence in a box. Now this is not about the traditional model of an FTE replacement where whatever has been done earlier, we're doing the same thing at a lower cost with another set of FTEs. These are not sold by FTEs, these are sold by solution, but we are trying to come up with creative solutions to do things that have never been done before. So we have talent pool of doctors in finance, doctors in statistics, doctors in data sciences, combined with automation technologies like big data platforms, Agilius, or visualization platforms or algorithms like R, and combining both of that to come up with newer models. So for example, instead of doing cash flow forecasting based on historical trends, how do we use more predictive models on what's happening in the industry, on the raw material pricing, on the sales forecasts, and using that to build cash flow forecast on a real-time ongoing basis instead of just using the historical parameters. And like that, applying that into forensics, into audits, into controls, etc. So combination of all these 3, fresh offerings, helping the holistic change management, and enhancing our own offerings to the what's going to be the offerings of the future are the three things we are focusing on.